All right. Next, we have a virtual presentation from Tuma Wilson, please. Tuma Wilson.
Hello. Similarly to Michelle, I've given you guys a packet. Does everybody have it in front of them?
Just let me verify.
Wicked.
All right, we do. Please introduce yourself and let us know if you're with any organization, and then how you'd like me to refer to you.
I am a Mi'kmaq heir of the Peace and Friendship Treaties. I am Dr. Professor Wilson at Acadia University, but you can call me Duma.
Okay.
The packet is signed John Q. Ilnu, as it is a generalized statement on behalf of rights holders. I'd like to just
so I'm going to introduce you, refer to you as Duma then?
Yes.
All right, and I'm going to start your time now. Welcome, and we look forward to hearing you.
As I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to be quick. I'd just like to immediately correct something that's on record here. When people keep saying duty to consult, that is no longer the standard. Canada has agreed to in agreeing to UNDRIP, and as well as by setting UNDRIP into law with the UNDRIP Act in 2021, it says that the new standard is free and prior informed consent. Article 10 specifically states, Indigenous peoples shall not be forcibly removed from their lands or territories. No relocation shall take place without free and prior informed consent of the Indigenous peoples concerned and after agreement on just and fair compensation and, where possible, the option of return. Right away, this new bill flies in the face of that. I will not go into details on the moral repugnancy of this rushed through bill that seems to be targeting land protectors who are protecting Hunter's Mountain right now. Nor will I chastise the Nova Scotian government for selling essentially stolen goods to different businesses on the mountain. Right now, I'd like to read the first part of the packet that I have sent you guys, and I'll try to get through that as fast as possible. As there seems to be some confusion as why there is unrest in Mikma'ki, I offer this statement and packet to help explain why we are gathered here. Indigenous rights are inherent. We have had them by the grace of being Ilnu peoples. We are the people of Mikma'ki, the inheritors of the Wabanaki Confederacy and the land of the Dawn. We have known this since time immemorial. Our people have always sought peace and harmony with all that is around us, but never at the cost of our rights and our land. The following is an excerpt from a letter from Millard to Cornwallis written on behalf of the Mi'kmaq in September 1749. The place where you are, the place where you now reside, the place where you make a fortification, the place where you presently wish to establish yourself, the place where you wish to absolutely to make yourself the master. This place is mine. I, the Indian, have sprung from this land like the grass. I was born there from father to son. This place is my land. I swear it is the Creator who gave me this land to be my country forever. You are proud of your great numbers, but as for me, I have very few. I can do no more than to trust in the Creator who knows what is happening. A crawling worm defends itself when it senses an attack. Assuredly, I, an Indian, am worth somewhat more than a worm, and thus, with greater reason, must know to defend myself when I am attacked. Yes, certainly I am going to see you. Soon I will see you, and I hope what I hear will, to some degree, lighten my heart. This was a letter written by our people explaining, essentially, our position on sovereignty. We are a sovereign, free people. This land is ours. This excerpt showcases that. This knowledge and righteous position put the Mi'kmaq in conflict with the Crown. In some cases, we had to fight for our land and title. This caused unrest in Mikma'ki that lasted from 1725 to 52 and beyond, when we would repeatedly sign treaties. When such raids caused the Crown to come to us hat in hand, as they did many times, like in 1752, and seek peace with us. We never surrendered our land or our rights. We instead, our ancestors drew lines in the sand that stated, to live in peace and friendship with us, you must not attack us when we are gathered in our land, in hunting, fishing, and planting. We repeatedly clarified this, and it's ingrained in Article 4 of the 1752 treaty. I go into treaty history a little bit in that handout, and I hope you all can see that there. But I just want to quickly ask you guys a question. It's semi-rhetorical. Where does Canada come from? What legal right does the country have to exist? We know terra nullius and the doctrine of discovery were racist lies. Any logical person can see Canada's only legal, morally and justifiable route to existence is the peace and friendship treaties. The Mi'kmaq, in their infinite patience, wisdom, and love, agreed to share space with non-Indigenous people who were coming over, similar to how we did with the Wabanaki Confederacy groups such as the Wolastoqey people and the Passamaquoddy. But our rights are inherent. I want to explain to everyone who can hear my voice right now. Our rights do not come from the treaties. They are not granted by Section 35. Again, our people said, here are the rights that we have that you cannot cross as a boundary, or we cannot live in peace and friendship with you. So again, Section 35 of the Constitution, it doesn't say we hereby grant Aboriginal and treaty rights. It says they are recognized and affirmed. Unfortunately, for many years, they didn't define that any further. So in the gray areas, we unfortunately saw criminalization of Mi'kmaq people. It started with Grand Chief Gabriel Sillaboy back in the 1920s, and it continues to this day, where our truck houses are raided, where our women are criminalized, where our land protectors are criminalized. And it's unreal that even after agreeing to UNDRIP, where you have all of these rights defined and not in a limited way, you still see Nova Scotia trying to pass this bill behind our backs. And it's really, again, just really morally repugnant.
Thank you for your comments. I'd like to allow some time for questions now, if that's okay. So we
Sure.
will have 5 minutes for questions, and I'm going to see if any of the folks would like to speak, beginning with MLA Lachance.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for this brief. It's really important and a really helpful resource, certainly the guide through UNDRIP as well. I'm wondering, I'd just like to give you some more time to speak and to talk about what you think should happen next.
If we're looking at making amendments to the Crown Lands Act, First Amendment should state that it is not, there's no Crown lands here. It is all unceded Mi'kmaq territory. We never gave up our land. We never gave up our rights. We agreed to live in peace and harmony with the Crown. And unfortunately, the Crown went back on that a few times, but we, time and time again, with patience and love, re-signed peace and friendship treaties with the Crown. And again, I think it's important because there will be people who say, oh, UNDRIP's an aspirational document. It's a high place to reach for. No. In Article 43, it states, the rights recognized herein constitute the minimum standards for the survival, dignity, and well-being of Indigenous peoples of the world. By fighting against UNDRIP rights, Nova Scotia is stating that the Mi'kmaq do not deserve the minimum standards for survival, dignity, and well-being of Indigenous peoples. And I'm sorry to get loud, but it's really insulting when you think about it like that. But again, UNDRIP does not create new or limit existing Indigenous rights. Our rights are inherent. It offers a lens for settler governments and its actors, such as politicians and judges, to understand our rights. And so, if anything, the Crown Lands Act maybe should be amended to reflect the fact that it is our land and that we work in tandem with you to protect it.
Thank you. Any further questions? I'm going to... all right, I'll start with MLA Lachance with another question.
So I know that recently Elder Albert Marshall wrote to government to stop talking about anything to do with two-eyed seeing, that what was happening had no bearing or relationship to this, despite government commitments to this in natural resource management and in environment. Do you have any comment on that?
I recognize Tuma, please.
Oh, sorry. Well, I think, again, it goes to our frustration with the lip service that the government seems to pay to us, while simultaneously trying to undermine our sovereignty, our inherent rights, our inherent title. And I think, again, if we're using two-eyed seeing, we're supposed to see the whole picture. And unfortunately, the government seems to never do that. Instead, we see near limitless resources spent on policing us, to raiding our truck houses, to criminalizing our land protectors, and to dehumanizing us. And really, that's the root of the issue. The Crown has spent so long dehumanizing Indigenous people, like the Mi'kmaq, that now when we are, you've given us the caveat of admitting that we're human, you're so used to treating us that way that you don't seem to live up to the word. I use the example of missing and murdered Indigenous women to highlight the issues that are at play for all Indigenous people. Violence and hatred against us goes unnoticed, undeterred, and unpunished. But during this demonstration, this educational Mawiomi, not protest, but educational gathering, somebody came up, spray painted our sign. A lady here reported it to the police. Police came, were called back, and a local detachment officer came. She had gone to bed in this time that it took for him, but 5 witnesses were there. We offered to give a statement, and as that statement was being given, the individual who was spray painting their sign drove by revving his engine and honking again. The police who were there slowly went and found him. We found out from people coming into the mountain that within 5 minutes, he was stopped at the Red Barn and then let go. Now, destroying property or defacing property is a crime. Being motivated by race for that purpose is a hate crime. I have no access to the incident reports of what happens in the police station and these sort of things. However, I think 5 minutes isn't long enough to really give somebody a court summons to talk about what they've done there. I think he was given a wag of the finger and let go. And I think that emboldens hate crimes towards our people. And I think, we need to analyze all of the double standards that exist in Canadian society that effectively dehumanize us and open us to violence, which again has been restated time and time again. These are forms of violence, economic violence against our people to keep us impoverished, violence against our people in the form of policing through literal physical violence. It needs to end. I'm not saying that we have no laws.
Our
laws.
time is up, Tuma, and I did give you a little bit extra, but thank you very much for being with us and for your comments.
Okay, I'd just like to take the last second to say we are all treaty people, not just the Mi'kmaq, not just the Passamaquoddy and the Wolastoqey. We are all treaty people because the treaty is what allows us to coexist together in peace and friendship.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.